All right. Okay, so we're officially live everywhere. Welcome, 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 welcome. Another wonderful day on this beautiful globe, on this beautiful planet, floating around on this rock in this third dimension, going to the fifth, as we know. Elevating, you know, Polka Dot Rabbit Podcast. Of course, I'm your brozo here. Polka Dot Rabbit Podcast. We are here to a little echo. Okay, let's see. Maybe let's see if you can turn the phone down. You know what? And also, I'm gonna put in the link. Hold on, my people. I'm gonna put on the link this um put it in so people that want to go to YouTube can watch it there as well. So let me do that for you because I notice a lot of people like doing that. They like to jump over there.
You are
Um,
hooked up, huh?
yeah. Well, it's been experience after experience. So let's see. All right. So yes, if it is a bad echo, I've just put the YouTube link on there. You can jump over there. Like I was saying, I'm your brozo here, and yeah, I got. Oh, I see you. I see you, Raising Phoenix. Peace, peace, sis. How you doing? Um, yeah, Polka Dot Rabbit Podcast again. We're here to uplift humanity. You know what I mean? And when I like to say it, because me and Sandy were talking about this earlier, it's just that we all have to live on this rock. So we have to do the best to be the best individuals and people we can be, so we can all make this living experience when we're here better. That's the way I look at. That's the way I was taught by my master teacher is to build and create with all. And that's the truth. Um, if you haven't already, please go to polkadotradpodcast.com so you can check out my book, Bicultural Living and Leaving the World of Illusions. And in that book, I talk a lot about my diversity in life just by meeting and going traveling and being around the world, meeting a bunch of beautiful people and, horrible people too. But, that's the balance of it all. Um, and that's it for me. I'm going to go ahead and let Sandy speak now. Please, Sandy, please tell the people who you are, what you do, and, et cetera, et cetera.
So my name is Sandy Schoepke. I am a therapist, a trauma therapist in the suburbs of Atlanta. I have been worked at psych wards, started up trauma within Peachford Hospital, Ridgeview Institute. I was a case manager and inpatient, along with having a private practice. So most of my clients are highly traumatized. Um, so with that, I also get the opportunity to now work with gold and silver, help people to learn how to become direct buyers of their own destiny with gold and silver.
Mm, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how did you get into the trauma field? And how did that all work out?
You
Start,
know,
I should say.
I'm a computer IT person. I
Hmm.
sold nationally for different companies and software and consulting, and got bored with that and decided that I was a helper. When I was a little kid, I was about a week old and I almost died, and I always thought I was going to be an angel. So, being that angel, I thought it was time for me to start helping people. And so I've been doing that about 7, 8 years. I'm an older
Hmm.
therapist, and
Hmm.
it's been absolutely phenomenal. I love my clients to death. They
Hmm.
work hard. I don't let them tell me about their week. I want to know. I've been called the hammer by some of my clients because I want them to get better. I want to heal them
Hmm.
and have them move forward. So,
And you were saying that you do the EMDR techniques. Could you kind of talk about that a little bit more
yeah,
details?
absolutely. So I'm one of 4,000 in the US under Francine Shapiro's training. Francine developed EMDR, and it's an amazing technique. It actually helps people heal from trauma. And it's one where you will desensitize the trauma. You'll install a positive belief. And when the people walk out, they will have gone through a very, very difficult part of the most traumatic part of an experience.
Hmm.
And they literally will heal. And as they leave and they go out and experience the world, they look at things different, things that would trigger them and cause nightmares or flashbacks or ruminating thoughts.
Hmm.
Begin to be healed. And the goal in my mind is for them, if possible, if to have them be off their medication unless they're into things like bipolar, which is difficult, or attention deficit, that's medication. But EMDR literally will help heal people's brains. It's phenomenal for trauma. Absolutely phenomenal. I'm very passionate about it.
All right. Yeah. It's just really quick. Coach Ronnie was supposed to be there. I think he just came on. I'm not sure if he's able to attend. If you are, I'm gonna send you a request. If you are able to come on, come on. If you can't, if you're traveling or whatever the case may be, don't worry about it. But if you can, I'm gonna go ahead and send you a request anyway. He's traveling right now. I think he's in Atlanta by now. He should be in Atlanta by now. I just send him a request. Um, so hopefully he can pop on if he does have some time once he gets settled. But okay, that's beautiful. And we I appreciate people like you because we need people that have gone through so much. We need healers in the
Yes.
community. We need people that can because life as we know it can be very tough. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And um, it is just it's so important to have help because one of the things I learned and we were talking about this earlier is that you know we're not taught a lot of stuff. As far as dealing with let's see,
Right.
he's about to get off the plane. Okay, so if he can't come back, he'll be driving. Um, so you know, I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, so so many things. Oh, sorry, I'm going back. I remember now. Um, we're not taught a lot of things in
Right.
school, how to deal with life, how to deal with trauma, how to deal with so many things. You know what I mean?
Right. I agree.
Um, so many things. So many things we're not taught. We just have to pretty much wing it. And we have to go through ourselves to learn information. To be able to heal ourselves. But a lot of cases, we have to go to other individuals that can help and assist.
Right.
Because we just don't know. You know.
Right.
Um, Now, I know that's one of the main reasons. It's just so it's very important that we reach out to individuals that have this information that can assist and help us. So
Right.
that's one aspect of it all. The mental aspect. I think you maybe turn your phone down a little bit. I don't know if that's me or see if you can turn your phone down. If it, make sure the echo. Okay,
Does that
let's
help?
see. Yeah, okay, that sounds better. Perfect. Um, and like I said, anybody, if you're having a tough time hearing, you can click on that link in there, and it'll take you to YouTube. So, um, first off, you deal with the mental aspect of life, but you said that you also deal with gold and silver. So you're trying to assist people with financial wealth as well, health as well. Is that correct?
Yes. That's
Okay.
correct.
Okay. Now, because I know that you are affiliated, I'm going to read this disclaimer really quick for everybody. Just bear with me while I do that. Let me see. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna read a quick disclaimer because we can't get people in trouble here. So, first off, the 7K product disclaimer: purchasing precious metals involves risks. We strongly encourage you to exercise due diligence and properly educate yourself prior to purchasing precious metals. The information is not considered tax, legal, or financial advice. We encourage you to seek appropriate professional advice regarding the tax and financial implications of buying, owning, or selling precious metals. The price and future values of precious metals is based on many factors, including but not limited to market and economic conditions, past performance or precious metals. There's no guarantee of future performance or future value. Okay. Now, this is an income disclosure. The income statistics are presented are for all 7K associates that are participating in 7K's share plan in the period of October 1st, 20th to September 30th, 31st, 21st. The majority, 85% of those who buy 7K products are each month are simply Customers who love our products are not particular in 7K share plan. On those who decide to build a 7K business, the overall average monthly income included during the income period was $2,400, and the overall median in monthly income earned during the income was about period was 500. The data in the disclosure refers to gross income and does not include an associate's regular or customary expenses or operating a business. These expenses would be a reduction of a profits ultimately earned by each associate. Qualifying for a rank within 7K share stock plan includes the potential to learn up to specified amounts of income assigned to each rank, but does not guarantee that an associate will learn the amount of income correlated with the rank correlated with the rank. Any guarantees achieving certain ranks, earning income or earning specific amounts of incomes or mislead as misled and prohibited. To the potential to earn income in the 7K share plan verified based on each individual and is contingent upon many factors, including but limited to diligent and consistent effort, determination, leadership skills, and ability to communicate effectively. Okay. And I think that's pretty much it, correct?
That works for me.
Okay. All right. So on to the more interesting part. Please, because we always hear so much, and the more and more I start hearing about the Fed now and all these different things and how fiat currency, all these different things, I hear so many things about all of this stuff, and that's why I wanted you to come on so some people can learn about like what's happening right now in so many ways. So I hear this of modern financial struggle. Could you kind of talk about that modern financial struggle?
Yeah. Like in 2017, about 44% of the Americans could not afford to even pay for a $400 expense. They have to charge it on their credit card. And when I was dealing with people in my counseling, I'm used to solutions. That's what EMDR did for me. And I wanted to find a solution for people for them to be able to start building on and broadening their opportunities with things such as gold and silver. And
Hmm.
so that's what this offers is because of the inflation. I look at the government in the last few years, they've increased the printing of money, and
Hmm.
that literally decreases the dollar. They literally say the dollar is now between three, 3 and 5 cents. And
Mm,
so the dollar is that much. In 1913, the dollar was equivalent to 1 ounce silver.
mm,
And since that time, the dollar is what, 3 cents to 5 cents. And then you look at the silver one
mhm,
ounce is between 35 and 40 some dollars based on
yeah,
history. So you can see over history, I'm not here to project because I'm not a financial advisor, I'm not a legal
mhm,
person, but I look at the history and I said, if I'm seeing that history and that's what I'm seeing, I'm
mhm.
going to assume for me that this is has been a good long-term solution. And so that's what I go with.
And from what I know, all big countries, they just stockpile gold because that's where they're able to accumulate their own wealth for that country. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. It's interesting because the largest buyer of gold is government,
Mm-hmm.
which is interesting,
Mm-hmm.
universities, right? And so when you look at that and you're like, why wouldn't I want to buy if I'm looking at the governments and they are doing substantial buying in
Mm-hmm.
gold? And over a period of time, you were talking about the fiat dollar and the failing of currencies. Literally, countries like Germany, Argentina, and Venezuela, all their currencies failed. And when you
Mm-hmm.
start seeing the dollar in 1913 be worth $1, and now it's down to hardly anything, it makes you wonder. You look at history, and that's what I always tell people. I'm looking at history and I'm seeing failed currencies,
Mm-hmm.
and that makes me concerned.
And while you saying concerned, like
Yes.
what do you mean by concern?
Well, they collapsed.
Yeah.
Those currencies collapsed,
Mm-hmm.
and so I'm always going, what could be another solution for me? And
Yeah.
that's why you're going to hear people say, when it comes to inflation, in history, gold and silver have done well.
Historically, now I'm wondering if is that what is that one of the reasons why they took the precious metal out of the hands of Americans back in the 30s for that reason?
Yeah, in President Nixon, actually, which was interesting,
Hmm.
decided to no longer have the gold standard, right?
Hmm.
And they wanted, and the saddest part about that is the people now have to have, if they start lacking the confidence, is which is starting to happen, because if you look at the currency and if it's decreasing down to 97%, at some point you're going to say, wow, I'm lacking the confidence. And when that starts happening, there starts to be bank runs, right? They start
Hmm.
having all these things that they've done in the past with all these other currencies. And so that's important. Wealthy families are smart. What they typically do is they do exclusive real estate, fine art, rare coins is what 7K offers, also usable gold and silver, along with uh, rock rare coins, collectible coins. So
Hmm.
that's something for us to consider, is to be able to say, if wealthy families are doing that,
Hmm.
I want to have physical assets as well, because when the market collapses, you're going to want to look for physical assets.
Yeah,
You're not going
yeah.
to look for a dollar bill that's not worth anything.
So you said countries, you said universities. What about banks? So a lot of banks buy gold.
Banks, central banks as well,
Central.
100%,
Okay, okay, okay,
100%.
okay.
Yep.
All right. Okay. Hmm. That's yeah. I, I was just in the airport recently, and I'm just seeing more and more cash only, cash only, cash only. I'm
Yes.
seeing it all the time now.
Yeah.
Only debit cards, and some people are even pushing a swipe. So it's it's so obvious and apparent that this is not only going to a cashless. I mean, they tell us what they're doing anyway, but it's not going to a cashless society, But if you have these things set up like the CBDC and the Fed now, in which they're really trying to control everything, it seems like to me. And please tell me if I'm wrong, but something which has more value than this digital currency like precious metals, that would be a very powerful asset as
It
far as
would
dealing with
be.
currency. Yeah.
It's truly something, and naturally, I'm not here to tell people what to invest in, but
Hmm.
I tell them to, like, these conversations are important for people to start saying, I want to start figuring out. And that's what I love about 7K. They want people to be their own direct buyer
Hmm.
of gold and silver,
Hmm.
for people to say, hey, let me do this. Let me do everything I can to say, I wanted to also take control of my destiny.
Um, what is a good example? Like, could you give me a good example of just for some of the people that know of like crashes that has happened in a even if it's not on the modern day, most recent like '08, but even going back further, could you kind of talk about some of the
Yeah.
crashes they had? Hmm.
Yeah, well, I was going to say some of the crashes. I'm not really going to talk much about the crashes as far as Argentina and Venezuela and everything, but I will
Hmm.
share with you an example of what I love is, if you think in 1965, if you would have purchased a Ford Mustang,
Hmm.
it's worth $2,500.
Okay.
And that, if you, so you would have spent $2,500 or 2,500 ounces of silver.
Hmm.
In 2020, fast forward, you would now be able to, with the 25 ounces of silver, be able to buy two Ford Mustangs. How much do you think the dollar would be worth? $125. It wouldn't even be worth the value, a deposit
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
on the Ford Mustang. That's a perfect example of the difference between the dollar and how little it is
Hmm.
versus the value of silver.
Hmm.
Okay. Another example could be is if in pre 2008,
Hmm.
um, before the market crash, if you would have invested, had 500,000 and you invested 350,000 in the paper investments such as stock, and you invested 150,000 in gold, the stock would have decreased after the collapse to 30% and the gold would be up 200,000.
Mm,
Huge, right?
mm.
So, and again, that's history. I'm not going to say that's the future, but I like that stats. For me,
Yeah.
works for me.
Hmm.
So,
So, okay, for somebody that's just getting into this, because me, I've heard about all this before, but just recently,
mhm.
talking to you, talking to my brother and other individuals, I'm starting to understand how powerful precious metals is. That's why,
Yes.
like you said, the wealthy families and all the other people, they know the power behind it. Um, so could it's for somebody that's listening right now, and starting to have questions, could you kind of like how about this, like dealing with gold and silver, like what
Yes.
if you're talking to me, what should I buy?
It's really hard those are great questions.
Hmm.
Those are great questions to ask. What should I buy? Who should I
Hmm.
trust? How
Hmm.
much money does it take to start? What
Hmm.
do I need? What expert should I do to win? Right. And there's so many things that 7K metals really started realizing. They started
Hmm.
realizing that, like, even I have a networking groups that I attend, and there's so much mixed advice out there.
Yeah.
There's so many scammers out there. And
Hmm.
I'll give you a perfect, for instance, is before I started working with 7K, I won't tell the name of the company, but it was a gold and silver company. And I decided to start doing investing in silver.
Hmm.
So I said, I'm going to write a huge check. I'm going to send it off. And what was interesting is they had these minimums. They had, if you do 1 through 10 silver eagles, it's going to be $35. If you do 15 through 25, as an example, it's going to be 34.95, right? So the more wealthy you are, the more coins, as example, or the more money you have, the more lower minimums you get.
Hmm.
7K doesn't do that. They literally say this is what it is, period.
Hmm.
This is the cost of it. Everybody gets it. They like to have the everyday person be able to afford gold and silver.
Mm.
And I love that, right? And they do not sell what they don't have. So when I was literally looking to do the silver coins and I signed off to this organization, it took 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks with my check, 4 weeks. And then I started calling, going, did you guys get my check? And I know they got my check, they just didn't have the inventory.
Yeah.
And so finally, I was getting emails saying after about the 6 week, in the next 7 to 10 days, you will get your silver coins. I was so frustrated. And with 7K metals, you can literally, when you pull the money in anywhere from a couple hours to 5 days with the enter of a key, you can buy gold and silver. Totally different change of the coin industry. That's what makes me passionate about this organization.
I, one of the things that really was interesting to me about going online, looking at the website, because it's like I see every face literally in
Yes.
all the I mean literally like all over the planet, like all over, well, all over I guess I should say I only saw people in America, I think. I could be wrong. But when I look, I just saw, it's interesting because you see many such a diversity amount of people that into this, but at the same time the information isn't out there like in the mainstream.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So
I
it's like,
agree.
yeah, so it's like still it's something that people are just getting on to, but the people that are getting onto it, these are the ones that are just being, proactive about financial wealth and etc., or financial health, I should say. I think it's an amazing thing just because so many people just get it. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, but there's a lot that don't, right?
Hmm.
It's
Yeah.
it's so interesting when I do presentations, I get these blank stares and I feel really bad because they're looking at it for the first time and going, I've never heard of that. I've never
Hmm.
heard the thought that I could now buy two Ford Mustangs, but if I would have just held on to my dollar bills, I wanted to be able, and I love the idea of educating people, and 7K metals is education and training for people, and
Hmm.
it helps them to wake up.
Hmm.
it helps them to wake up and start going, I want to have my own destiny.
Yeah, I think one of the big things is just like we were talking earlier about just learning. Like you have to go out of your way to really learn about finances here.
Yes.
You have to completely go just as much as you are becoming conscious and aware of spirituality. It's the same thing with money. You have to go out of your way to learn this because they don't teach squat,
Right.
in most financial places.
Right.
So and this is a whole different layer of all of that because this is like it's the structure. If all countries and central banks do all of this, then that means it's like almost like the foundation of
Yeah.
all currency and economics, like literally,
I agree.
and not a lot of people know about it. It's I'm just happy that I met somebody like you and my brother that turned me on to this because I'm looking at things completely different now in so many different ways. Like it's
That's awesome.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you said something about what I'm trying to. Could you kind of talk about because you keep on saying Kevin 7K 7K, that's the company that
Yes.
you get this from, but could you kind of
Yes.
talk about like maybe the founders and the mission behind them?
Yes. So I love everything about this organization. And I love that they really want the everyday person to be able to have freedom, right?
Hmm.
And that's what 7K represents. Their feeling is if a person can make 7,000 a week, they will have true freedom, and that is what they would love for everybody. So there's four founders, and it started in 2016. It's
Hmm.
Josh Anderson, Roger Bell, Richard Hansen, and Zach Davis. And in I went to the national convention and I was so excited because they literally announced that they're the largest retailer of gold and silver.
Hmm.
And for them, their mission, I'm going to read their mission because I don't want to botch it up. We created 7K because we generally want to improve the lives of people around the world. We have watched too many of our friends struggle at the economic fluctuations, employment issue arise, and unexpected changes come up to life. Using the power of gold and silver, we believe we can provide a way for people to create financial independence, preserve their wealth, and live an exceptional life. We started this company because we believe in you.
Hmm.
Oh, I'm so excited. This is the
Yeah.
greatest opportunity for me, and I hope that everybody can feel the same way.
I, Historically speaking, it's just so. I don't care if you're dealing with the Bible, Samaria, whatever time frames. We're talking about Mansa Musa. All these individuals, they had gold. They weren't walking around with
Yes.
like
Right.
with a dollar with their picture on it. They might have a picture on it, but it was gold. These
Yes.
individuals had gold. So it's like going back to the basics. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like yeah.
Well, I look at it as God's money, and I'm not
Uh-huh.
here to offend people, but it's been
Yeah.
around what 5,000, 6,000 years. I
Mm-hmm.
mean,
Oof.
and if you really think about it, I don't know if people realize this, but when the military has problems, they always carry gold around.
Mm.
And they do that because if all things go under, or the currencies or something, they have that as a
They can
backup
barter with it. They can barter.
plan.
Yep.
How
Yep.
great is that, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean that's pretty. And that's all. Like I said, in going back in the time, pre-biblical. I'm sure, like if you can only imagine that the time frame gold, because I think it takes a while for gold to even to be made in the earth. But
Yeah,
going back to the strength of that specific gold or just precious metals altogether, it just it makes sense how it could be so powerful now. And I keep on saying that. I know I'm kind of repeating myself, but that's what I had to tell myself to be like, wait a minute, I'm looking at these dollars and all this cash, and they're about to take the cash away, but then and they're trying to give us other things, but what was there before that, and is it
right,
still there? You know,
right.
it's like
I'm with
pretty
you.
much a no brainer. So what a Hmm. That's really interesting. So, what type when you I know you keep on talking about gold and coins, but what are the different type of things that you can purchase? What are the different things you can purchase? Is it just all gold coin? Can you get like big bars like you see in places? Like, what is it all that you can purchase if you have the means to do that?
Right. A great way to describe to me gold and silver is to kind of break it down between collectibles and non collectibles.
Okay.
So if you look at collectibles, they're going to be they're like a baseball card. If you think
Mm,
about it,
yeah.
what when you had a baseball card, what would be the things that you would say this is a really expensive baseball card?
Yeah, like a Babe Ruth rookie or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
so and the condition of the card,
Yeah.
right, and
Mint condition.
the story behind it, like oh this
Mm,
now he was a rookie here, right,
mm-hmm.
and the number of cards, and if there's a mistake on that card, right, it's like
Error. Yep.
right. So that's the same way you can look at collectible coins, right?
Ah.
Right. So collectible coins, a rare collectible coin, and that's what say 7K loves is a mintage of 10,000 or less. And they typically will on their product page do the 69s and 70s. And the 70, the PF 70 is a pure coin. There's no defects. And the 69, you can barely see anything as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm
Mm-hmm.
not doing justice to it, but the bottom line is they're top quality.
Mm-hmm.
So if I have a USS Arizona coin, it is absolutely fabulous. It was designed by Miles Standish. Miles Standish came to work with 7K. He's like the Michael Jordan of coin authenticators. And so he will put out this series of like a 5 ounce coin, a 2 ounce coin, and a 1 ounce coin. And the Arizona, that series is literally encased right outside the USS Arizona. And the 5 ounce coin, the mintage on is 1,177. And the story behind that is that's the number of people that died on the Arizona.
Mm.
Only 2 survivors. In
Ah.
the coin is actually a piece of the wood of the deck that is embedded in the coin. These coins take like 2 weeks to do on one side, 2 weeks to do on the other side. The price of that was around, I think, about 650 to 699. It jumped up and it's now going between 1,200 and 1,400. That is, and collectible coins are called the offensive strategy, and they're the
Mm.
offensive strategy because of that. They're going to
Mm.
grow, and versus the defensive strategy is it's plugs away. Although we see with history, I'm not talking about future, we see with history that it seems
Mm.
to increase from $1 to 35 to 40 ish, right, for silver, and way higher for gold. But and the defensive strategy is I'll say non-collectible coins. Sometimes it's referred to as bullion. It'll be the rounds, the bullions, the bars, the circulated coins, like the circulated eagles as an example.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of the difference. And naturally, you get to figure out what your strategy is going to be. 7K has great training on that to give you an idea of what they would recommend and thoughts for you to kind of consider. So you're fully educated. We're
Yeah.
not.
No, it's just that's one of the reasons why I wanted you to come on here. Well, wanted you and Coach Ronnie to come on here, but just because I think it's so important, especially because you have a lot of younger generations that are really trying to learn about that are trying to learn about money, and in doing that, because we are going into a shift, you want to give the right knowledge as far as when money comes to anybody that's really serious about it. You know what I mean? Because like
Right.
I just think about like, I was watching I can't remember what it was, but they were just saying, if you're somebody that's been stockpiling cash for um your whole life, and you have them under your buried somewhere, and they say, all right, well, cash is now obsolete. You know,
Right.
it's gone. It's you might that's our firewood. Or
Yes.
with the right knowledge, you could take that cash, buy a bunch of precious metal, and then it's a whole different ball game, whole different
Yeah.
conversation. And that,
When you mentioned that, I was reading yesterday
mhm,
by an organization that was saying in Venezuela, whatever that coin is, they
mhm,
said 1 million of that coin, whatever I start with I forgot, remember what it started with, is worth 53 cents. Could you imagine if you had $1 million and it was buried in your mattress and now it's worth 53 cents?
That I mean, that's not even like that's not. I mean, I can hardly imagine that.
Right.
Like, like seriously, just putting into your or you or my or anybody else life, like literally just being like, all right, I'm a millionaire, and then you're like, you're used to the dollar being the exact opposite when it's strong. For
Mhm.
example, you could have $250,000 and you move to, you know, some Caribbean island, where the
Right.
currency is low, and now that and it triples or quadruples, and you're like, yeah, but not the opposite way, Oh,
There's my cat. I'm
yeah,
so sorry. That's
no, no,
Henry.
it's fine. Henry dueling cats. Everybody's already seen Raquel. She's always on the screen. She moved now, but she's sitting in my lap. But yeah, but that's I mean that's that whole scenario that we're just talking about. That's realistic because
Yes.
dealing with this digital currency, it's not a no, it's a reality. It's going to be a reality. That's just the bottom line. You
Well,
know.
I can't, I'm not to share that that's the bottom line. But again, we look at the history and we can
Hmm.
see that currencies have failed. And
Yeah.
that's something to, like I said, to be concerned about and think about.
Hmm.
Right. So,
Yeah.
but I'm with you. I kind of, for my sake, I'm kind of like, my opinion is similar to yours. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I got you. I'm with you. Yeah,
yeah,
it's just that I think my thing is just being aware and conscious of the way money's going, and just seeing that digital currency that's coming, and it's kind of like you in your mind, you're like, what in the world can I do to stay out of that? You
right,
know? Yeah, that's when this is so intriguing to me.
right.
And I think that's why it's so important for me to talk to someone like you that can get this information out to people to say you don't have to be nervous and scared. There's ways, that you can, you know, put yourself in a good position. I guess it's the easiest
Yes,
way to put it.
absolutely.
You know. So let me say, I know we've been talking about the 7K because like I said, I've done my research. I personally, you after talking to you and Ronnie, I had to, get on board. So, it was a very wise thing, and I'm very happy I did it. I'm learning a lot from all the information that I'm receiving.
Awesome.
But could you talk about the other benefits that they have of it?
Yeah, we have a lot of different benefits, and it's so many to name, and I'm probably going to lose people in it. But we have a autosaver, so literally people can just um, once a month just automatically just set it and go, right? So, and there's several products they can choose from, so it doesn't have to be one thing specific. We've got a what's called a Sound Money wallet. It's like a front end digital wallet that people can buy $1. So, like the everyday person who says, I can't do that $2,500 1 ounce gold, or I can't do that silver coin, even if it's say around $40, but I can do $1. I could do a
Hmm.
dollar today. I could do $5 this day. I can do whatever. And so it can keep adding up. And what I love about the digital wallet, you can either, once you get to where it becomes a coin, you can ship it to your home or
Mm.
you can keep it in their private vaults. And what I love about the founders is they commingle the private vault so
Hmm.
that if something happens, like you think about the Canadian truckers couple Januaries ago, where the Canadian government shut down the trucker where they're
Hmm.
making the hunt and they
Yeah.
shut down their personal accounts and their business accounts. I mean, how awful would that be, right? And so what I love about it for 7K is they're like, we're going to commingle the stuff in the private vault so that guess what? The government can't be knocking at the door saying, we want your box of gold or silver because it's with everybody else's.
I didn't know that, what you just said. I didn't know that. I
Yes,
mean,
so important.
there's always repercussions, of going against the government. So you're saying that all those people that were protesting, the government's like, oh, we got all y'all, we're freezing everything.
They froze everything. That's why people from all around the world were trying to help those people out. I mean, I'm not telling anybody that they should agree with that. That's everybody's choice on whether
Yeah,
they
yeah.
agree with what the truckers did. But
Hmm.
just the idea that they didn't like their behavior, so they froze their personal business account, that's a problem for
That's
me,
insane. Yeah, yeah. That's
right? Because
yeah,
could you do that to me as well?
yeah, yeah.
So
There's got to be a way. Always got to be a way around it. Always, yeah. That's my yoga teacher. So she said, "Wow, yeah, Michelle, you're right about that. Good gracious, I didn't know about that either. Like until you just said
Yes.
that, I didn't. I saw what was happening there, but I had no clue that they were doing that. That's a
Yes.
daggone shame. You know,
Yeah.
mm, that is insane. So so just so people know, like how to kind of gauge all this.
Mhm.
What are you talking like as far as becoming a member? Like how does it work? Could you kind of explain how the whole process works?
Sure, absolutely. But I do want to share that there's a whole bunch more benefits, and at some point,
Okay, I'm
maybe I
sorry. Go
will
ahead.
come
Yeah,
back.
go ahead.
No. I can easily come back, but if that's of interest, because I know there's time here that you need.
Hmm.
We have a for the collectible coins. When you're buying these memberships, there's two memberships that they offer, and when they
Hmm.
buy the membership, you're buying technology. You're buying technology for the non-collectibles and technology for the collectible coins. So I'm going to talk about the collectible coins. One of
Okay.
theirs is called Stack and Sell. And what I love about this technology is you can purchase, when you purchase a coin, each collectible coin has a barcode on it, and it's
Hmm.
only specific to that coin, period. Right? So the technology has where you use your phone, it goes well, it doesn't make that noise naturally,
Hmm.
but it will hit the barcode, it will go onto the system, and you literally will have an inventory. So somebody would steal your collectible coin and they take it to a coin shop, it will ping, and you will know that to get your coin back. You can literally take that inventory, give it to somebody if that the police or whatever, to be able to say, this is my stack of coins. So if you should decide that now you're saying, I want to sell this one coin, I love this coin, but kind of ready to cash in on this, um, you put it out on the marketplace, which is part of the technology. Somebody says, I want to buy it, so they either, they'll put it on their credit card as an example, so the money will go be there setting. You send your coin in to have it authenticated. And it's important to authenticate. If you think about all the fraud going out there today with
Hmm.
is this real gold or silver,
Hmm.
they actually, every time a purchase is to be done, they will re-authenticate it to make sure that
Hmm.
it's the same quality, etc. After that happens and it matches, the coin will go to that individual. You take it off your inventory list, they put on their inventory list, and then the money will go to you in a specific thing called quick pay.
Hmm.
But it's amazing. It's a full cycle. No one in the coin industry has done that other than the 7K metal. So
Wow.
so it's that we've got individual insurance for people. We've got group insurance up to from 50 people and below. They've got coin drops. They've got uh, uh, I'm looking over here to make sure I don't miss anything. They've got loyalty points so that if you keep consistently buying, at some point you literally can get a coin refunded from all the points, and you can keep the coin or you can go off and sell it. The membership that you talk about, there's
Hmm.
two different levels. People can either buy retail off a member's website, or they can
Hmm.
do the two membership. There's a standard membership and a premium membership. The
Hmm.
standard membership is for people that want to just buy and sell. They just want to buy and sell gold and silver, but they are not really interested in digging too deep into the business,
Hmm.
because and the standard membership is 199 for a year.
Hmm.
When you guys think about it, when I talked about buying that collectible coin that you get for 650, 699, and now it goes to 1200, 1400, you literally have paid for your membership with one collectible coin,
Hmm.
right? The 499 gets a little bit deeper into where you've got a you can see your downline, because this is a multi-level marketing company.
Hmm.
But the cool part about it is you can get passive residual income by
Hmm.
doing example of talking about memberships to other people. It is
Hmm.
phenomenal. So here you are building your wealth with gold and silver, and you are getting residual passive income by talking to people about these memberships.
And changing lives.
Crazy,
Changing
crazy.
lives. Yeah. Yeah. And this is something, this is the start, especially in this day and time. This is the mindset that we need to have. If
Mhm.
anybody that's really serious about um whatever transition is happening on this planet, with governments, with the currency, this is a key. This is a cheat code. It kind of feels like to me personally, it's
Yeah,
like a cheat code as a part of this transition, and
yeah,
not for you to be and for you to have confidence going in the future instead of being all nervous. What's going to happen when so and so the switch is? No, well, that can happen, but I'm still
right,
here and I'm still solid with this. So,
right. Well, if you think about what I said early on, I said 44% of the Americans and this was 2017, who knows what the number is today,
hmm
not afford an emergency of $400. That says something about what am I going to do differently? Because what
hmm
I'm doing is not working. So
hmm
if you can get a collectible coin that you can cash in that's raised a
hmm
little bit, that
hmm
literally could pay for the $400 emergency fund, right?
hmm
So
hmm
you have to kind of say, and wow, maybe I should take a moment and see if I can sell some memberships and consistently, because the memberships are amazing. And
hmm
when you were reading off the income disclosure, it
hmm
basically says if you get two people underneath you and you consistently add points, and there's a whole story behind the points, you can get on your first level up to 500 a week, up
hmm
to 500 a week,
hmm
right? You do two on two sides, you literally can get up to 1,000 a week, right? And I'm not telling you you're going to get the 1,000, you have to work at it. But that $400 that was an emergency thing, or you can't afford to get a $199 membership, you really need to think about how you can get that membership so you can make a difference in your life.
See, this in normal cases, this would be like, okay, yeah, I'm just making money, I'm making money from these other members or whatever the case may be. But now with this mindset, it's like, okay, like they were saying, the founder said, if you get $7,000 a week, you know, you can
You're free.
budget. Yeah, you could budget whatever you need to pay for at a certain amount, and you can throw all that rest into these things that could potentially appreciate or grow in time. So it's a whole different way of thinking, and
Yeah.
I see that. I see it more and more the more I talk to you and Coach Ronnie about
Yeah.
all this. It's a different way to think. So how could someone that's watching this here in the future, whatever, going forward, how could they contact you?
Well, I'm an independent associate of 7K Metal. So
Mm-hmm.
literally, I think you've got flashing somewhere the heirloomwarrior.com. That
Mm-hmm.
is my website.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody can contact me. They can just say, I'm interested. I want to talk to you. There's a calendar with times as well. But I'll talk to anybody and for however long they need to see what's going to work for them because, hey, while I help my clients for trauma, this is another mission of mine is to walk alongside people so that they can be free, like what 7K Metals offers people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So not. I mean, I can't. I can't say much more because I'm. This is one of the things like we were talking about earlier. Me like starting to learn more and more the subconscious, man, and other things about just being conscious, aware of the mind, the body, and the soul, and everything. It's like if we're living in this reality, we have to be balanced. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And this type of information is definitely balancing me in numerous ways. And it's something new to learn. If you're information junkie, or if you like to just learn something new, this is a whole new world and reality. And truth be told, is I have it's over there, but I still have all my baseball cards from when I was
Wow.
growing up. I have all of them. Now they're not as they're not as powerful, as potent as some of these coins, but I do see through time. I'd say what it's probably going on 20 some odd years. No. Yeah, but some of the cards, 85, 85. Yeah, about close to 30 years. Some of those cards I have,
Wow.
I do have, yeah, I do see some of them that have gone up in price, but they were just so mass produced back then. They weren't rare. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're not rare. So that analogy, the way you could describe the collectibles as just being just like them, but more valuable and etc. That that completely changed my mind and made it easier for me to understand this
Right.
whole thing when you're dealing with collectibles, because it's kind of like, all right, you if in the baseball world there used to be a book called the Beckett, right? And the Beckett would have all the prices of all the cards, right? All the hottest cards and all that type of stuff. So I'm assuming, that it's the same thing with 7K, or you can just see what's the newest, the hottest. You can, hey, I want this, this, and this, and then you just purchase, and now you just throw it in your vault or whatever, and through time, it's just,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
it makes up. That's Raquel again. But it all, I'm gonna have to snatch her. Come here, Raquel. Don't scream. Okay, thank you. Yeah, it just it's makes so much sense. It's very, like I said, a no-brainer. All right. So
You were talking about your baseball cards. Something I wanted to bring up is how I think I was hearing that if you have a capital gain of $600 on your baseball card, is that correct? You have to report it to the government.
I'm not sure. I'm
There's a
not
dollar
sure.
amount. It's a low
Yeah,
dollar amount.
yeah, it might be. I'm not. I don't want to say yes because I'm not 100% sure, because I
Yeah,
don't. Most of my cards aren't even. It wouldn't even. It wouldn't be any
yeah.
close to 600. More like 75, 100. But yeah, I'm not sure about that. But that.
Well, when you go through training with 7K, you'll be blown away with some of the advantages that you can get with precious metals in comparison to the collecting of baseball cards.
Does that go along with art too? Uh, Is it, or is
I-
that a whole different?
You can imagine you're gonna anytime you get kind of capital gain, you're gonna have to
Yeah, give it up.
yeah.
Give it up. Oh God. Oh man, Sandy, thank you so much.
You're very welcome. This was so much fun.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. We have to. This is our warm up because we have to get you and Coach Ronnie tag team and all this thing, because I know y'all are out there helping, trying to help change people's lives, not in the trauma field, and Coach Ronnie in the athletic field, getting people in shape, but also getting people in financial shape. And I don't care what anybody says. This is needed for any and everybody that's
Yeah.
serious about life and serious about making moves in the future. That's why I specifically wanted you both. um well, we have a question here. Go ahead. Okay, it says, is the training inclusive with a membership or a separate course?
It is all included in the membership. It is shocking what's included in the membership. Everything that I described to you is the 199 and 499.
Hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's like just a vault of information and knowledge. And
It's shocking. They even have a 7K advantage, which is uh, you literally can. I bought it's with vendors. So if you
Mhm.
want to go to the movies for entertainment, you want to go do a flight or rentals or hotel. We had one of the executives on the corporate call on Monday saying he and his family were going off to some hotel. And
Mhm.
when they were going to the hotel, they were saying it was 300 a night wherever they were going. And he said, wow, I'm going to look up the 7K advantage. They found two uh, $140 for two hotels. It was $70 a night versus a 300 a night. And
Wow.
he literally was able to get a 300 for all 4 nights instead of 1,200 that he was going to pay for four
Mhm.
nights because of this 7K advantage. So there's so many things I didn't offer you, but yes, that is inclusive in the annual membership.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
it
yeah.
just seems like it gets better and better. And I'm not even this is I'm trying to think. This might be the first, I think it's the first podcast when we're dealing with finances, on especially dealing on this level, because I know we talked about things that's happened in the past, etc. But just having having precious metals and explaining exactly how precious metals works and the importance of it. This is the first time, and I'm gonna definitely have to see once Coach Ronnie can come back on here, you and
That'd
him
be
both kind of
wonderful.
talk about. Yeah, I would like to, even once that happens, you know, and sooner than later, I'd like to hear some of the personal experience. I mean, personal stories, you know, that you've you know, you guys go both going into. I would love to hear that, and I would love for the other people to hear it, because I'm gonna tell y'all, if in and Sandy Sandy is Sandy is definitely a conscious individual. You know what I mean? She's aware of, you know, who and where she is in her part in this universe. You know, and definitely, I hate to say woke. I hate that word, but she's definitely conscious and aware of what's going on around her, and what's happening on the globe, what's happening. You know, um, in the cosmos in her own right, you know, in her own degree. But she knows what's going on. So individuals like her are very important, because they can relate the importance in this information to, you know, how this currency, this God currency, like she said earlier, can assist everybody that's also conscious and aware to really start to reach their financial goals. It's so important. You know, it's not, honestly, it's not just about, you know, just trying to sell stuff. No, that comes along with it. You get paid regardless. You know what I mean? In some way or another, you're going to get, you know, you're going to get paid, if it's financial or just, you know, through good karma, or whatever the case may be. If you're helping these people, you know, get this right knowledge when it comes to finances, it's a very important thing. And I applaud you both, and I thank you and Coach Ronnie for both telling me about this, and also being patient, and me just being ready to really, you know, instead of jumping, you know, putting my pinky toe in, and, you know, allowed me to ease my way into it. So I
That's awesome.
appreciate, yeah, I appreciate y'all both, and we'll do that next time. We can, you know, talk about that more. But anything else you got?
I'll tell you one quick story, and
Okay.
this is somebody I don't know, but it's
Mm-hmm.
somebody I've heard of.
Mm-hmm.
He literally decided to do where he would buy a collectible coin and sell it off that system that I told you about for buying and selling and inventorying, authenticating,
Mm-hmm.
etc. In 5 months, he made $50,000. 5 months,
Good gracious. That's the type of numbers I like to hear.
right? No joke, right? So
Yeah, yeah, no joke.
um, anyway, just it's exciting, and I
Yeah.
hope that your listeners seriously consider asking the questions.
Hmm.
I'm there, whatever they
Yeah.
need.
Well, you see that website right here? I had it up pretty much the whole time. Contact Sandy. You know, she's a wealth of knowledge, and a very good spirit and being. And, you know, I appreciate everything that, you know, that you're teaching me, and you and Coach Ronnie are teaching me. And besides that, that's it for me. Thank you very much again, for another episode of Polka Dot Rabbit Podcast. And also, please follow, like, and share. And anybody that's and I'm being so serious, anybody that's really serious about finances and wants to learn more, follow, share this, but also reach out to Sandy. She'll be able to put you in a really good position, because I know a lot of people that are really upset that crypto is done is ended up where it's at now, you know. But imagine, you know, I've known some crypto millionaires, you know, not the ones that got killed and stuff, but I've known some crypto millionaires, and, you know, right now, you know, precious metals would look a lot better than, you know, crypto, because, you know, it's more tangible. It's, you know, it has better history, and, you know, so um, but that's it. That's it for me. Polka Dot Ride Podcast. Please follow, like, and share, and always please support the Cash App. Is there PDR Corp? You know, we're gonna keep on the like I keep on saying, the people have spoken, and they're wanting me to do more, and broaden the topic subjects, and numerous things. So I'm just gonna keep on doing it. I love doing this. This is fun to me. So you know, I'm gonna keep on doing it, and support the channel. Please support the channel, and, you know, that's it. Polka Dot Rabbit Podcast. We're out here. Sandy, anything else?
I'm good. Have a
All right.
great night, everyone.
All right. Until next time, we're out of here. Oh, let me
Bye.
see if we got one more. Oh, she said Thank you.
Uh,
Okay. All right. All right. Peace and love, everybody. We out of here.
bye.
Polka Dot Rap Podcast. Thank you.
That was fun. Thank